cliff breaking have left a chasm, and in the chasm are foam and yellow sands. Beyond, red roofs about a narrow wharf in cluster, then a molded church, and higher a long street climbs to one tall-towered mill, and high in heaven behind it a grey down with Danish barrows, and a hazelwood by autumn nutters haunted flourishes green in a cup-like hollow of the down. Here on this beach, 100 years ago, 3 children of 3 houses. Annie Lee, the prettiest little damsel in the port, and Philip Ray, the miller's only son, and Enoch Arden, a rough sailor's lad, made orphan by a winter shipwreck, played among the waste and lumber of the shore. Hard coils of cordage, swarthy fishing nets, anchors of rusty fluke, and boats updrawn, and built their castles of dissolving sand to watch them overflowed, or following up and flying the white breaker, daily left the little footprint, daily washed away. A narrow cave ran in beneath the cliff. In this the children played at keeping house. Enoch was host one day, Philip the next, while Annie still was mistress. But at times Enoch would hold possession for a week. "This is my house, and this my little wife." "Mine too," said Philip, "turn and turn about." When, if they quarreled, Enoch stronger made was master. Then would Philip, his blue eyes all flooded with a helpless wrath of tears, shriek out, "I hate you, Enoch!" And at this the little wife would weep for company and pray them not to quarrel for her sake, and say she would be little wife to both. But when the dawn of rosy childhood passed, and the new warmth of life's ascending sun was felt by Isaac fixed his heart on that one girl. And Enoch spoke his love, but Philip loved in silence. And the girl seemed kinder unto Philip than to him. But she loved Enoch, though she knew it not, and would, if asked, deny it. Enoch set a purpose evermore before his eyes, to hoard all savings to the uttermost, to purchase his own boat and make a home for Annie. And so prospered that at last a luckier or bolder fisherman, a carefuller in peril, did not breathe for leagues upon that breaker-beaten coast than Enoch. Likewise had he served a year on board a merchantman, and made himself full sailor. And he thrice had plucked a life from the dread sweep of the down-streaming seas, and all men looked upon him favorably. And ere he touched his 21st May, he purchased his own boat and made a home for Annie, neat and nest-like, halfway up the narrow street that clambered toward the mill. Then, on a golden autumn eventide, the younger people making holiday, with bag and sack and basket, great and small, went nutting to the hazels. Philip stayed, his father lying sick and needing him, an hour behind. But as he climbed the hill, just where the prone edge of the wood began to feather toward the hollow, saw the pair, Enoch and Annie, sitting hand in hand, his large gray eyes and weather-beaten face all kindled by a still and sacred fire that burned as on an altar. Philip looked, and in their eyes and faces read his doom. Then, as their faces drew together, groaned, and slipped aside, and like a wounded life crept down into the hollows of the wood. There, while the rest were loud in merrymaking, had his dark hour unseen. And rose and past bearing a lifelong hunger. In his heart